Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Conservative Poet with me, Amania. So happy about today's video, so excited. We're going to be seeing Larry Elder, who has gone onto the Breakfast Club for an interview to talk about his candidacy for president. And so I'm really excited about it. Larry Elder is I love him. I listen all the time. I was watching his race in California. I was really disappointed in how things turned out. But he's gonna talk today. It's gonna be amazing. This is gonna be a long form video, but I will be breaking it down into short bites at some point. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Let's go.
JNV, Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We have Teslin Figueroa with us. And we got a special guest in the building. 2024 Republican presidential candidate, Larry Elder. Welcome, brother.
Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor.
How you feeling?
I feel good.
He does more than that, though. I mean, he was a radio host.
Radio host for 40 years.
Author, TV host.
Author,
New York
host.
Times best-selling list. I've got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Corner of Hollywood and Vine, Southeast corner, just saying.
Okay.
I didn't know you had a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, man.
Yeah, about a handful of radio guys do, and I'm one of them.
Yeah, I think it's you, Elvis Duran,
Angie
Howard
Martinez.
Stern,
Yeah.
Big Boy. Oh,
Angie
Martinez.
A guy named Arthur Godfrey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into it. Why are you running for president?
Well,
Before Larry starts in, I just want to say they lay it out nicely, letting you know that this is not some person who has never served in office before, who has never done anything in the society before. This man is an author, radio host. He ran for governor of California. I mean, this man has really been there, 71 years old, a patriot and somebody who we can learn a lot from. So let's see how the three Breakfast Club hostesses treat this man, another black man running for office. If we're going to have the same nonsense that they gave to Vivek Ramaswamy at their last interview with a candidate. So let us see how this interview is going to go. Let's see if they learned their lesson from the last interview, right? Let's see if they learned their lesson. Here we go.
well, I'm running as an America First mega guy, and we have an America First mega guy running, obviously. So the question is, what do you bring to the table?
You say MAGA.
MAGA.
Okay.
And the answer is, I bring a lot of issues to the table that I feel our side is not talking enough about, if at all. For example, the number one social problem in America, by far, is the epidemic not of COVID, but of fatherlessness. 70% of black kids today enter the world without a father in the home, married to the mother. Up from 25% back in 1965. Now 25% of white kids enter the world today without a father in the home, married to the mother. And the stats are clear. Even Barack Obama once cited them. If you're raised without a dad, you're 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. What's happening?
If Obama say it, then you know it's true, because Obama's word is gold. Gold.
Happened. In the mid-'60s, with I think the best of intentions, a Democrat named Lyndon Johnson launched what he called the War on Poverty. And since then, we have incentivized women to marry the government and incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility. You know, when I say this to people, the pushback I get is, well, there are lots of things that are going on, systemic racism, poverty. Here's the problem. If you look at a young black male aged 10 to 43, that's young to me because I'm 71 years old. A young black man in that demo is 13 times more likely to be murdered than a young white man, same demo. Young black man, real young, 19 and under, the number one cause of preventable death is homicide, almost always at the hands of another young black male. Same demo for whites, the number one cause of preventable death is unintentional deaths. That includes drug overdoses, automobile accidents, drownings. It's not until they get to number 4 that death is the cause. In America, 60% of the shootings, the robberies, and the homicides are committed by black people, often against other black people. Of the homicides in this country, half of them are black victims, almost all killed by other blacks. How do you explain that if it isn't for the absence of fathers? Are you prepared to say black people are just genetically inclined to commit more crime? I doubt it. And the go-to reaction often is poverty and systemic racism. Here's the problem. 1940, when there was blatant racism, this is before Brown versus Board of Education, before the Civil Rights Act of 64, KKK was still alive and well, 87% of blacks lived under the poverty line. Now it's about 14%. You can't blame it on poverty. You can't blame it on racism. It is the breakdown of the nuclear intact family, and neither side is talking about it. The left doesn't talk about it because they caused it with the welfare state, and our side does not talk about it because if you're white, you'll be accused of dissing single moms who are heroically raising these kids, or you'll be accused of being a racist, or if you're black, you'll be accused, as I was by the LA Times, of being the black face of white supremacy. Nobody's talking about that. I am.
What are the reasons, if your statistics are right, what are the reasons that you think fathers aren't in the home?
As I said, it's because in the mid-60s, Lyndon Johnson launched what he called the War on Poverty. In Charlemagne, literally, they sent social workers door to door in the inner city. I remember this, advising women of the availability of welfare provided there was no man in the house. It created an economic incentive for women to marry the government. Same thing with whites. In 1965.
Yes. Women are pretty much married to the government, and that's how it started. It started all those years ago, and it has continued until this day. And the problem has grown and grown and grown, where they offered this to people in general just to get them off, just to get them on their feet. And so, and they didn't say you had to sign up for it, but people signed up for it. It was up there. It was an option. And so you go out there and you sign up for it. But the black folks seem to have attached themselves to it. And the more they attached themselves to it, the more it grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, and has taken over such a big amount of the black population that there is no room for the men anywhere. I mean, the numbers are stagnant. And being in the housing business, I've seen this firsthand, where a lot of the girls, they can't have the guys in the house. Section 8's coming for an inspection. You better hide your man or you better put his ass out. Well, I never put up with any of that. But my point is that still today, women are faced with that same situation. You want Section 8 housing, then you can't have your man in the house. Therefore, he's going to go out he's going to be sleeping around different women's houses. And what's he going to do? Have babies with that one, have babies with that one, have babies with that one. And he has no real home with that woman. And if he's lucky, he's got himself a little place. Maybe he's rent a room somewhere. Maybe he got a basement somewhere. And that's the life of a lot of the black men. Because again, this whole welfare setup has separated the men and the women. And so we can't be a unit because the government is in between us. And that's what's happening in the black community, especially with, what they're talking about right there. But let's see how this goes.
8% of whites entered the world without a father in the home married to the mother. Now it's about 25%, also up threefold. Look at census data, 1910, 1920, 1930, in places like Milwaukee, Chicago, Philadelphia, a young black kid was slightly more likely to be brought into a world with a father in the home married to the mother than a young white kid. We have incentivized this kind of bad behavior, and it's had a disproportionately bad effect on the black community.